Welcome folks, welcome to another VSR Phoenix event. We have a 1 hour race at Mount Panorama in Bathurst, and as you can see from the top right there, we are currently in free practice. We got just under 8 minutes left of that before we enter qualifying. We have already 17 cars who have joined us. I've just done a number of laps. Does it tell how many laps I've done? 6 laps in 2 separate groups. I did a warm up and 3 laps and then another 3 laps after that. Or was it 4 and 2? I forget. But yeah, I've done enough to be in the mix. I think anything less than a second off of the platinums on the front row is good. I'm particularly impressed at the moment with Declan Anderson, the used to be known as Indian Goat. He's the other gold driver here at the top of the group, and he is quite a lot quicker than I am right now. We've just had Carlos Disch go, wow, okay, that's quick. That's really quick. Anyway, Declan is over 6/10, nearly 7/10 quicker than I am around here. So yeah, that's impressive. I'm not going to catch him. As I've mentioned in previous races, I am not really in contention for a championship this season. It's not because I don't want to. Partly it's because of the fact that there have been some very random weather conditions in these races, which I hate. So I haven't participated in a couple, and I had 2 DNFs already so far. So I'm just not in the running and kind of lost interest of it. However, these races are good. We've got 2 more in the season, this one and 1 more. After this one, we go to Zolder, and that's going to be random weather. In the Ferrari, that's going to be interesting, so we'll see how that goes. If I decide to participate, it may not be something I want to do. I noticed that Carlos Disch has just crashed around. Is that a Skyline, somewhere around Skyline Corner? So what am I looking forward to? This race is going to be pretty darn fabulous if I can qualify towards the front of the field, as it looks like I have the possibility to do amongst the platinum guys, and I can get a gap between the platinums and everyone else behind me. Particular people I am concerned about is Angeletta. Antonio Angeletta is quicker than his silver rating would have you believe. Lee Evans, Alan Alexander, Soviet Mario, he used to be known as, he's quick as well. So those are my primary contenders. Oh, and I've forgotten that Ian Oates down here. He's only just joined the track a short while ago, but he too is going to be a lot quicker than 13 seconds off the pace. So we have just under 5 minutes left of the free practice. So I've got my qualifying setup done. I'm not kidding you, just before I came on stream, the last few laps I did were, well, the first of those 6 laps that I did, the first set was on the race setup with the fuel taken out, and the second few laps was with a modified qualifying setup where I guessed at a couple of settings. I changed the rear ride height, the rear wing, and what else did I change? I changed the rear toe, and it feels fantastic. So for a qualifying lap, it is much quicker than the race one. I don't fare well on the qualifying setup as it comes from Go setups. It feels like the car is edgy all the time. It's very hard to predict where it's going to go. So it just saps my confidence, and I'm not particularly quick with it. But yeah, as I say, a couple of tiny changes, and we're looking good. The temperature is 26 degrees here, my best ever time, let's go back to here, my best ever time is somewhere around a 2012. That was set in a Ferrari, but it was set at like 5 o'clock in the morning when the temperatures were really low, and the cars do go better under those circumstances. If I can qualify under a 2-minute 2, I'll be quite happy. Anything in 2:01s in qualifying is good for me in these conditions. It's absolutely fine. Because the session is 20 minutes without restriction, there is time for two stints, if you like, 2 attempts. But the tyres here do, as with pretty much all the other circuits, they tend to be at their best after around 4 or 5 laps. So my plan at the moment is I'm going to stay in the garage for a little bit, do a few laps, see where I am. The one thing I've not mentioned that is please forgive me, I've got this really thing about frogs in my throat lately. The one thing I haven't mentioned is that there are no mandatory pit stops in this race, meaning that we are going to have very full fuel tanks. I don't think many people will have practiced with over 100 litres of fuel. The BMW is going to need nearly 120 litres, I reckon. It's very thirsty. My Ferrari is going to be like 105, somewhere around there. I did about 30 minutes earlier on today with those settings, and it's not bad. The car works okay. Over that period, I didn't do the full hour though. What I'm expecting is that for most people, the tyres will go off after half an hour. So those who are battling, those who are in traffic, they will have problems with tyres towards the end. So my plan at the moment is to try to look after the tyres enough that I'm not suffering too badly in the second half of the race. Other points of jeopardy are turn 1. In recent times I have crashed there twice, I think, in the last 3 races. It's one of those where when the tyres are really working well, you can turn down the TC, you get on the gas early, and it just pulls the car out and fires it up the straight, and it feels brilliant. And then all of a sudden, the grip is gone, you hit the pedal, and the car just spins, and it goes into the inside wall. Not fun. Not fun, I promise. So we're about to go into quali. So I'm going to double check this. I've got the qualifying modified set up for a temperature 26. That's what I got in here. I got 19 litres on board. That should be plenty enough fuel. I've used two sets already, as you can see, in free practice. But that's okay. We got loads of tyres. Loads. Simply loads. Okay, let me just briefly show you while we've got the time. The changes that I made were this ride height was 0 and rear wing 5. So I put ride height up to rear wing up 1. And I changed this from a minus 0.1 to minus 0.05, which tames the tendency to oversteer a little bit. That's it. That's all I've done. And of course the aero changes mean I've got a bit more stability as well. Changes literally just aimed at stability. I'm sure in expert hands the car is quicker, with a lower wing, but not in mine. So I need some confidence in the car. So we're going to go into qualifying any minute. I'm around about the middle of the grid, the pit lane here, and there we go. Let's see who goes out first. As expected, Declan goes out. Carlos goes out. There's two cars vying for position as well. The problem we have here is if you go out too early, you get these cars on cold tyres who go sending it across the mountain and come a cropper, hit the wall, block the track, and you find yourself heading towards an accident. So I'm going to be a little bit more patient and let some of these guys go first, and then I'll join in a few minutes' time. I'm at least confident enough that I can afford to wait a few minutes. I don't think I need 2 sessions, not 2 sessions, 2 attempts to set a decent lap time. So we're going to do just the one. Not an awful lot left in the pit lane, so we'll start to give it a go, I think. There we go. I told you. First car into the wall. Now, this feels like a banker lap, somewhere in the mid-high 202s. See what we got.
Yellow flag in sector 2. Yellow flag ahead, be careful.
That's not bad as a banker.
Yellow flag in sector 1. Yellow flag ahead, be careful. Well done, mate. The fastest step so far. Yellow flag in sector 1.
Damn it, I lost it all. One corner. That's stupid. One more lap. I'm way off of 4th place. That's it, the tyres come alive now. I could get into P5 again here. I've lost it all again. What did I do?
Flag ahead, making it through.
No.
This has been your personal best.
Shit. Damn. So that's, look at that, over 3/10 slower than that attempt. I wonder what I did. I wonder what I did. Can I give it another try? I think I might, you know. I've got a gaggle of cars coming up here. I'm not going to have much time. I'll go after car 61. Right, fast warm up, 2 laps.
Yellow flag in sector 1.
it's not going well.
Yellow flag in sector 1. Yellow flag ahead. Be careful. Well done, mate. Personal best.
Cool. Oh my word, we're going to do the same thing again. People are disqualifying themselves. Interesting. So we're going Fake Galaxy and Carlos Deesh are going to be the two guys battling out in front. Declan and I are going to be battling, and we'll have these guys on our tails. But it's a long race. It's a very long race, and we are going to... So here we go. I've got a 2017. I said I'd be happy with anything under a 202. I am happy indeed. I was never going to get a 2012. That's a bit beyond me, I think, at this point. These guys are in another league, of course. But I'm a bit surprised at the fact that I got half a second over these two, Antonio and Lee. So that's fine. I need to get some space in the first phase of the race, because I need to look after my tyres, and if I got people harassing me all over the place, I'm probably not going to be able to do that. I can't push too hard, at least not the whole race. So yeah, look after things is the name of the game. I'll take a quick picture of this. Can I do I get... No, I don't. I'll get fewer people in there. So let's get a picture of that. I should maybe work out the my gaps to pole position on each of the circuits, and then do a sort of percentage, because this track is quite long. So there may be sort of percentage of track length. How much am I on average off the pace of pole? We'll see. Right, I don't think anyone else is setting fast times. Carlos is around, coming down Conrad Straight. Is it Conrad Straight? No, it's the other one. Let's see what his top speed is. .280.38 just. That's only 3k more than the Ferrari. But as you can see from here, these two have got a 20 kilo penalty, and I've got 25 kilos less. So that's a 45 kilogram swing, and these guys are still at front of the field. But Antonio is not. and neither is Tishvari. So it's going to be interesting to see what these guys do. I've never driven the Ford. Not once. Oh no, I beg your pardon. I did very briefly did the standard in-game setup, aggressive preset, and gave it a quick go, and I found it absolutely awful. So I need to give it a proper setup and see if I like it, because right now it's so much better than everything else on most circuits. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So we've got the race set up now. Then I've got to be cognizant of the fact that we're starting at 12 noon. So we'll be 1 o'clock. That's going to be maybe slightly hotter, I think, than it was. But that's fine. I think the temperatures are set correctly, so I'm not particularly worried about that. I got the same aero. I've got 0 rear toe this time. It's 105 litres. Set 5, brand new set of tyres. This is 11. I've got 5. I've got 6 laps I can add. If I need a pit stop for anything else, I'll add 6 laps. Just in case. That gives me 0 fuel. Actually, let me do that the other way around. That gives me 2 laps. And this one will give me 0. That's fine. But I'm not allowed to change tyres, so I need to check on that. That should be good. I did not expect to be on the outside though. P5 would have been suited me better, I think. I found it hard to judge how much space to leave on the inside. Especially since the other Ferrari is going to be alongside me.
Seconds. Stay single file.
The fronts are good.
Green light, go, go, go.
I think Declan just hit the wall. Gave it a bit of a love tap. Oopsie. That was a bit more than a love tap. Okay, tyres are up to temperature and pressure. Take it easy, but give it a go. It's a long race. Patience.
Falling behind in the car in front in sector 3. Well done, mate. That was all best.
That 2032 is probably going to be my fastest lap of the stint, to be honest. Yeah, I'm being more cautious now.
There's a car exiting pit lane.
That was bloody lucky.
Yellow flag in sector 1.
I really wasn't sure which way he was going to go there. That's twice someone's come across my bows today. Welcome to Mount Panorama. Lewis Purslow back in the pits. Don't do too much of that.
Losing to the car ahead, sector 1. Well done, mate. The fastest lap so far.
I'm not going to be able to do 202s the whole race.
Yellow flag ahead, a child in front. Slow car ahead. Slow car ahead. Yellow flag, be careful there.
Thank you, sir. That's brilliant. Even indicated which way he was going. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you treated being leapt. Exemplary.
Yellow flag, be careful.
Hello, someone's crashed. My doctor's crashed. No, it's Fake Galaxy did. Fake Galaxy has crashed. Concentrate. The gap's up to 5 seconds, and I think a low 203 will suit me well. Even a mid 203. Less than 40 minutes left.
There's a car leaving the pit lane, watch out.
Oh, another crasher. Brilliant, thank you. I'm nicely into a rhythm now, but I can't be complacent because Antonio's he's less than 6 seconds still. Lee Evans is dropping off the back, but Antonio's still right there. Tires are going off already. Like that. And Angeletti's closing in.
There's a car leaving the pit lane, watch out.
When is there a no? He's got to drive through as well. Oh dear. So 3 cars have dropped out already. It lasted 10 laps and then the car hit a cliff. And we're going to need 25, 26 laps. Lee Evans just did a 2:03.1. Wouldn't that be funny if Carlos Dish had fueled only for half a race? No, there's not much grip here. Almost feels like the tyres are overheating. But they're not.
We are at the halfway mark, still a long way to go.
Fuel looks good. So we got the two platinum drivers, Kieran and Will, in 4th and 5th, coming up from the back of the field. Still a fair way back though. But they're catching. Second overall would be really, really nice. But I don't think it's realistic. I don't know. I do 203.5s. From here on in, you're not catching fast enough.
There's a car leaving the pit lane, watch out.
What were you doing? 039. Cool. 036. Yep, quicker than both of those. By a fraction. .9. As long as that gap keeps growing, I'll be a happy chap. Antonio through to your nines again. Will Friedman's in the pits? Or is he? 2034. No, he's not. Significantly overfueled again, as usual. I've got about 5 litres, maybe too much. Friedman 2024. That's me. That rate he might just catch.
Yellow flag in sector 3.
If he gets held up by Antonio, I've got a good chance of finishing P2 here. Fake Galaxy and Kieran both in the pits. .204.3, I'm doing the 203.4. What's Will done? Didn't see that. No, 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 no. Is the car still drivable? Shit. Probably not. Doesn't feel good. Damn! Might be able to make it. Three seconds lost. Go 2, 3. I think the damage is mainly superficial. I'm a second lap slower now. Let's see, 12 minutes, we've got 7 laps to go. I need to focus now. Now we've got to put it on. Can I still keep this gap ahead of more than 5 seconds? No. Too much damage. don't think it makes a difference whether I use TC6 or 7. Nope, Antonio's going to catch me, I think. You can see me now. Oh, that wasn't good. Let's hope these two can hold each other up behind me. I've definitely lost some top end. Oh, I've got 3 laps left. Oh my god, Kieran Rudd has overtaken Will. Why would he do that? He's been lapped. I suppose he's entitled to unlap himself, but Jesus. Ooh, 3.7.
Yellow flag in sector 1.
Not the best blue flag behaviour, but it'll do.
Leaders on final lap now.
2.6 seconds.
Yellow flag ahead. Be careful.
Final lap. Plenty of fuel. Car's behaving itself. Just no mistakes.
Yellow flag in sector 1.
It's getting a bit loose. Oh shit, like that. Whoa. I think I was a bit tentative with the braking there. There he is, that's the gap. Second to third.
The leader has finished the race. Great job, V2. Bring it back to the wings.
Idiot.
There's some light damage at the
17 seconds off the lead, but then 2.5 seconds behind, ahead of third. Wow. Wow, Oatsy must have had a nightmare. Only 15 cars left out of 20. Well, I finished top Ferrari. I finished on the podium overall. I finished first in class. I can't argue with that. I suspect for you guys this possibly was a fairly boring race. I don't know, for me it was a bit tense at times, especially the last 10 laps. I hit the wall around lap 21, 22. Let's see. No, let's go back to there. I hit the wall. Not there. Was it 206? Yes. Lap 22. Well, it cost me 3 seconds. And from there, I was in the clearly early 203s. Then it was 204, 204, 237, 204, 2039, back to 2034, 204, 204. But yeah, the car was definitely damaged at that point. But for the first 21 laps, I thought that was a pretty good race. I was doing really well. It was consistent, pretty quick. You can see how the fastest sectors are all in the first 7 laps. And it gradually goes downhill from there. So the best of the tyre life is in those first 7 laps. I think I probably took a little bit too much out of them, but it was enough. It was alright. That gave me the gap over Antonio to maintain that to the end. Otherwise, I think he would have got me. But all in all, very good race. I'm happy with that. I hope you are too. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.